Hi, boys and girls. It's Wednesday with Principal Sotero. Well, I know that we had some snow this week and we didn't have school on Monday and Tuesday, so I hope that you did some fun activities outside. I saw some boys and girls when I was working in my living room doing some sledding outside. I hope that you had an opportunity to get outside and maybe go some sled riding or play a little bit. Well, today I thought I would do something a little bit different. We're going to make some specialty things with croissants, or as the French would say, croissants. They're actually shaped, they're a pastry that's shaped like curved, like a crescent. Maybe sometimes when you're outside and you're looking up at the moon, you would see a whole big moon or a half moon or a crescent moon, which is just a part of the moon. Well, I'm going to just tell you that we could do so many cool things with croissants. Now, a lot of people think that croissants came from France, but actually it started in Austria a very long time ago, and then it traveled to France and it became so popular. So today, if you have one of these tubes, you can just go to the store and get one. It's only a couple dollars, but I'm going to tell you, we could do so many great things with it. So, for this one, we would turn the oven on for 375. We only really need to cook them for like 10 or 12 minutes. But you peel it. There's a little part right here that'll show you a red tab. You peel it and unroll it until it comes all undone. Just like that. And then I generally just tap it, because what will happen is it will pop. Did you hear the pop? And it just pops right open like that. So I'm going to unroll this. Some people will make them from scratch. That means from flour and butter and yeast. But today I'm going to use this little canister because it makes it a little bit easier. And it's in one of our favorite shapes, a triangle. They come perforated or pre-cut. So you see, I just unrolled that. And I don't need to put any butter on my baking sheet because you know what? They're very buttery already. So if you see, I'm going to just show you as I unroll it. Do you see all those like little racing dots? Sometimes when we trace papers at school, we'll see the racing dots. Well, it's kind of like that already set for us in our pastry. So I just need to just tear it gently with my hands. Whoops, that one came a little bit undone. But guess what? If that happens, you can just put it right back together with your hands. Kind of like when we make mistakes with our papers, we use erasers. So here I have kind of separate them all together and have a little piece. So I'm going to just kind of repair and put them back together. Now, one of the things that I could tell you that we could do is we could do things that are like dessert, or we could do things like food. So like a dinner or a lunch or a snack sometimes when you're watching TV or a game or something fun. So I'm going to tell you, we could do like in France, they have the croissants. That is chocolate. So we could use Nutella or Hershey's chocolate. You could add some chocolate chips like I have here. And all you would do with this is I would just take a little bit out with a spoon. You do not need a lot. And I'll take my knife and I'll just kind of spread it just like I would if I was spreading butter on my toast. Pretty easy. I'll just spread it, and I really don't use more than a teaspoon. And then I'm going to show you how we'll roll them in a minute. So that one's my chocolate one. Another one we could do is if you have apples. I love to pick apples in the fall. So when we pick apples, I make homemade applesauce. I'll just take the apples and I cook them down with some honey and some cinnamon. And so I have some chunky applesauce. So for this one, I would take a teaspoon of that and I would put it right by the fat side. So when you lay them down, when I put the specialty like apples, I'm going to stick a clunk or a little bit of a teaspoon right here, not where it's thinner, but where it's fatter or wider, right? Now, the other thing we could do is if you like raspberries or you have strawberry jam, you could take any jam that you have or jellies or preserves. I have some freezer jam that I've made some strawberries when I went picking strawberries. So I'm going to again put mine right where the fat side is or the wider side. Now I have some great desserts or something I could even eat for breakfast because I could have jam with my croissant, right? Or I can have an apple turnover like a dessert. Or I can take some salsa and I could put some Mexican salsa with some Mexican cheese in there. So let's try that. I'll get another couple spoons out here, and I could take a little bit, and I probably won't want to have too much, just a little bit of salsa. And then I'm going to sprinkle some of my Mexican cheese right here, right again where the wide area is. And I'll toss that right there. I could even do some with Italian, like pizza. I could use some spaghetti sauce, and I could use some Parmesan or mozzarella cheese. Or, you know what's a real favorite for kids? Let's see, what did I do with my knife? Well, I think I moved it. I better go grab another one. All right, and go. All right, so the other thing is children love, so do adults, hot dogs, right? So if I have a big hot dog here, I might just cut this maybe in half. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here where it's wide again. And I think I'm going to make 2 of them. I'll put 2 right there. And then I'm going to make one like we talked about with our spaghetti sauce. So I'll put a little bit here where it's wide. And then I'm going to put some cheese. And this is just Parmesan cheese. You can use mozzarella cheese. I'll put that in there. And then I think I'm going to make one more with our apples. Because when you take the can and you open them, let's count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 croissants in a can. So now I'm going to show you what we need to do. I've got all sorts of different fillings. We're going to roll it up, this triangle, we're going to roll it up the wide area first, right down to the narrow part. All right, so I'm going to make sure all of my stuffing stays in there, and I'm rolling it gently. And I just want to show you. So I rolled it, and then what happens is that narrow part just kind of hangs right around there. So again, here's my chocolate one. And I don't need to touch the middle. I'm just going to roll it. Now this one's a little bit long or flat, but then they could have a croissant that actually curves. Sometimes you'll see them in the bakery, or if you go to Panera's or something, or another store, they'll have them curved like that, or they have them straight. So here's another one. I'm going to just roll him. There's my oven. I turned it on to 300. You remember what it was? 375 degrees. Good memory. And then I have that one. Now my hot dog. Oh, I love these too. So you roll this around. One of our favorites at our home. Our children used to love to make them. And then I'm going to just roll this right around. And if you have little hot dogs, you can do it. If you have big hot dogs, you can just cut them. And then I'm going to roll our last one here. This one was the pizza one. And you see how easy that is? So I have something for breakfast. I have something as a snack for dessert. I have something that could be used like a sandwich, right? Because it is bread. And you can have something like Mexican. We had some salsa and Mexican cheese. We had some Italian, so we have some spaghetti sauce and cheese. We have some hot dogs. We love American hot dogs, right? And we have that. And then when they bake, I'll show you what they look like. You could put some toppings on if you want. Sometimes I'll put some glaze on top, which is like a light frosting on. Sometimes I'm just going to take my hot dog and dip it either in mustard or ketchup, things that you like. Sometimes with the spaghetti sauce, I might have a little bit more sauce. So I have them here, and I'm going to space them out because they're going to grow. I want you to know they're going to get bigger. So we want to make sure that they have space to grow. So this one I have a little bit curved, and this one I have straight, and maybe we'll curve this one a little bit. All right? And then just on a sheet, and I'm going to put it right in my oven. Do you remember how long we're going to put that in there? Right? About 10 to 12 minutes. So you want to watch them. You want them just a little brown on the underside, a little brown on the top. So let me show you some that I made for Mr. Sotero today, because he loves croissants that have chocolate in it or the apple. So here's one. Do you see how much wider it got? It kind of grew, didn't it? So in this one, I have chocolate in here, and I actually used my Nutella. I did a little bit of frosting, and then I put some sprinkles on it. This one I have, you can see it's the apples inside. And again, I have a little bit of glaze on there. And I put some sprinkles on just for fun because it's Valentine's Day is coming up and we like to decorate things that we eat. So, boys and girls, this is a great opportunity for you to get so creative when you're making things. And sometimes we can have something pre-made like this, a croissant, and we just take this, open it up. Remember what I did? I just tore it gently, tap it gently, it pops. And do you remember what shape they were? Triangles, that's right. And do you remember where do we put all of that stuffing that we put in there? Where it's really narrow or where it's really wide? Really wide, that's right. And then we're going to roll it from where it's really wide all the way to where it's really narrow. And then it turns into that buttery, tasty filling that we put in there, croissant. So, boys and girls, I hope you had a good time today. And I am looking forward to some of the things that you may put in your croissant. Remember, it didn't come from France, it came from Austria, when those two countries are pretty close next to each other in Europe. So I hope you had a great day. I hope you went sledding and had fun. So we'll see you next time. Bye.